in light of Paula Posichinha, Costa, ruining the UFC 294 card and, pulling out of the fight, actually, we have a better fight now in place for Khamzat Chimaev. Last minute, he's fighting the Nigerian Nightmare Kamaru Usman. This is the matchup that's been in talks like around May of this year. Chimaev Usman was rumored. Usman's been calling for this fight in Abu Dhabi, but Khamzat's been saying that he will only fight him at middleweight. Usman's saying he wants to stay at 170. This fight could have been perfect for 170 because, Chimaev would have a chance to beat Usman at welterweight, beat a former champion, become the number one contender, earn the next shot at 170. But I think he's made it clear he's done with 185. But now, regardless, because of circumstances, Usman's taking this fight at middleweight, which is very interesting. And honestly, this could be the start of a new chapter for Usman and a run in the middleweight division for Kamaru Usman, because he's already done enough at 170, five-time defending champion for a few years. And he's lost to the current champion twice. So it's kind of clear that he's got a long, hard road to get back to the title. As long as Leon's champion, Usman's not getting another title shot for a while at welterweight. So should Usman defeat Khamzat, why not stay in middleweight? Because he just beat a middleweight despite him not being ranked. Usman said he'd always go up to middleweight and challenge for the belt as long as Adesanya, his African brother, is no longer the champion. And he's no longer the champion. Now is his chance. The champion, who he currently holds a win over, Sean Strickland, he's got the belt, so he could try to aim for that fight. I mean, he may need like one more fight at 170 against a ranked opponent if he does beat Chimaev, but still, middleweight Usman could be a different monster. He'll look bigger, more hydrated. He'll cut less weight, so we'll see. But then if Chimaev wins, same thing, he can go get a ranked opponent finally in the middleweight division and fight for the belt. I'm hearing somewhere that if he beats Usman, he'll earn a title fight, which honestly, why would he? Why would he earn a title fight at middleweight against a non-middleweight? That just wouldn't make any sense. I feel like he has to actually beat someone ranked in the middleweight division top 5 to get a title shot. And I think Paulo would have been perfect. It would have been a perfect win for Chimaev because Paulo is in the top 5. I'm calling him Paulo because, he's an absolute joke, doesn't take his career seriously, and completely botched this fight, pulled out of multiple fights in the UFC. And we can't forget when the last style bender not only styled on him, but also took his manhood when he fucked him in the ass in Abu Dhabi 3 years ago. And since then, Paula has been inactive, treating his career like a joke, purposefully not making weight for Marvin Vettori, being unprofessional, ducking Robert Whittaker on like multiple occasions, ducking the Killer Gorilla. So for all that, honestly, Costa's lost my respect. And I'm surprised that Paulo Costa versus Luke Rockhold even happened, because both guys are pullout merchants who never really show up anyway. So it's a shocker that either Costa or Rockhold made it to that fight. I mean, look, Paulo Costa's a funny guy. I see his funny posts on the gram, but at this point, he's a clown. He needs to be cut. He's only good for his jokes. But as far as his fighting career, I think that's out the window. The UFC shouldn't give him another chance. See you in PFL, Paula. See you in PFL. Won't be missing you. But as far as this matchup, man, Khamzat and Usman, oh my gosh. If Usman had a little bit more notice and this was going to be in the welterweight division, I might be more keen on picking Usman. I might be quicker to pick him because Chimaev would have a lot more weight to cut than Usman. And welterweight is Usman's natural weight class. That's where he performs best. So it would be more an even playing field, more time for Usman. But the fact that this is 10 days notice, a different division, Usman really hasn't had time to acclimate himself to middleweight or to get in middleweight shape, to put on that middleweight size. Usman, for all we know, could show up looking like a bloated welterweight who's just not cutting weight, basically, against an in-shape tank like Chimaev, who's been preparing to adjust his body to the middleweight division. So that might benefit Khamzat Chimaev. I know Usman's been working. He's been training, but not for Khamzat specifically. It was rumored that he was going to fight Belal Muhammad. So the short notice is definitely in favor of Khamzat Chimaev for sure. And, you know, Usman, he's on a 2-fight losing streak. And in the last fight against Leon, he didn't look as impressive as the previous fight with Leon. So Usman arguably could be past his prime, where Chimaev is clearly in his prime. And he's been working in silence for the last year, been improving in his game. He's the younger fighter. And he's just got the youth and he's got the momentum on his side. Now, this is a very, very close fight, obviously, and it's competitive no matter what happens. I'm undecided because I can see Usman winning this for sure. I think of all the opponents that, you know, Chimaev has fought throughout his career, I think Usman stylistically poses the biggest threat, the biggest challenge, you know, with his experience being a former world champion, but also the style. Like I said, he's a fellow wrestler. And prior to that second Leon fight, he came in that fight with an 100% takedown defense ratio. And even though he did get taken down by Leon and that 100% is gone, Usman is still very much a hard man to take down. And he wasn't expecting that inside trip from Leon Edwards. He'll definitely be expecting that and prepared for that against Chimaev. And he'll definitely be more careful to not end up in that situation. So as far as Chimaev just being able to go out there and get an easy takedown on Usman, that's not going to happen. He can definitely take Usman down, but he'll have to work for those takedowns. And Usman's going to be that first opponent to actually match Khamzat in terms of physicality and strength. Usman has always been known to be a very physically strong fighter. So is Khamzat Chimaev. So if Chimaev gets a hold of Usman, overpowering him is not going to be very easy. Usman will definitely be strong enough to shuck Khamzat off if Khamzat gets a hold of him. So I do think that the wrestling, grappling will cancel each other out, and it will primarily come down to the striking. And this fight's just going to come down to who gets the better of the stand-up. Whoever can get the better of the stand-up will win this fight. It's that straightforward. It's that cut and dry. From what we've seen, it's more proven that Usman is the better striker than Khamzat Chimaev. You know, he is technical. He's got a good jab and a good 1-2 right cross. Effective from either stance. Very good footwork. But Khamzat's no slouch standing either. And I know that he's tightened up since that Gilbert Burns fight. So I expect in this matchup, his striking to be even better than before. He's going to come prepared with good striking. So I can't really tell you who's going to have the upper hand on the feet in this matchup. Both guys are heavy hitters. Both guys have the knockout threat on one another. So it's also going to come down to who can connect first. You know, if Usman can connect good, he can definitely hurt Chimaev, but then vice versa. If Chimaev can land right on him, he can also hurt Kamaru Usman. He can also knock Usman out. I believe at middleweight, both guys are going to have increased power. It's kind of already proven on the side of Chimaev. He's got some big knockouts at middleweight. Who knows? Maybe Usman's power won't translate that well over to middleweight, but if it does, this fight can get real interesting. But hey, I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility that maybe Chimaev just goes out there, runs through Usman, even in the grappling, and takes him down and submits him. That won't surprise me because it's Khamzat Chimaev. He is him. If anyone can do that to Usman, it's Khamzat. But we'll see, man. Right now, for me, it's up in the air. I do not have an official prediction. Had this been like Usman on that long win streak prior to that Leon KO, I'm picking Usman all the way. But right now, after that losing streak Usman's been through and the fact that he's older, he may not be the same and it's short notice and Chimaev's got the youth edge, it's hard not to choose Chimaev, but I can't count Usman out either. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to it. Paulo got spared. I was going to pick Chimaev to destroy him in the first round, but this fight's actually a lot more interesting, and I'm glad it's going to happen. I'm praying that my guy Usman wins because he's one of my favorite fighters. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Who do you guys see winning? Like and subscribe, and peace out.